What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel, the #1 place where you can learn about my life, my experiences building a business. But today's gonna be a little different. Today we're gonna do an interview with one of my family friends. He's a father, he's an instructor, he's a mentor, he's a coach, Carlos Martin. We're gonna step into his world as a hybrid athlete, from his day-to-day life of teaching his sons how to become top-tier athletes to teaching this entire facility of martial artists and personal training. So without further ado, let's get right into it. We might as well keep the thing rolling. So John's already in here?
Yeah, John's training. He trains during the day. We train around this time, a couple times a week, because he can't make it to class. So I'm training him. Me, him, and Alex and Brooke, we're all trained together. And then, there's like a lot of people, and we just got it going. It's moving, So it's very. I'm trying to. Let's see.
You still have the kickboxing going on?
Yeah, we're doing that.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So it's addition to that.
We just added same people that were already there, like getting the gi. We're going to start doing something different. And
add on to it.
Bradley and Zeke fight, so they compete in kickboxing. Kickboxing, and now they're all Bradley and Zeke's working a lot right now, but he's doing jiu-jitsu too. So we're just taking it slow, but everybody's training really hard right now in the gym.
You say slow, but this gym looks completely different, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
on top of that,
we've been working.
All the stuff you've been posting too, it looks kind of sick.
And then all these gray walls, when I come back from Atlanta, is all going to be white. And then the rest of the gym's going to get walled up. So basically it's white and black, all black floors. The karate floor that's gray and yellow, the yellow's coming out, it's going to be gray.
Okay.
And then the back wall that's just freshly painted white, that wall's going to get padded. And it's going to say Elite Martial Arts going across. It's just going to be real chill. Like, I'm almost done. I got about 5 more G's worth of stuff. And I think we're going to be done with like the main goal. And after that, it's just little stuff. So these past few years, I've just been
hustling
and pouring back everything I have back into like the black floor. I mean, that's 8 G's right there, 8,500. That's all cash. I mean, I don't have to deal with it. It's done. I did it last summer.
Jeez.
And all our cheerleading camps paid for that, for the most part. So I kind of have a good system. That's all I was trying to say. Things just take time, man. And when I look back on the business side, sometimes I'm like, what? Like, a part of me starts saying, look how quick we got people in jiu-jitsu. Why didn't I do this years ago? You know what? That's not where I was, so it doesn't matter. Am I going to go back? That's not where I was. That's not where I needed to be doing. My priority wasn't there. My priority was CJ. I had him and Corey in the house at one time. My priority is getting that ball rolling, making sure about, whoever I was responsible for. Now that Manny's done so freaking well, I have mental space to go home and be like, what could I do at the gym? I didn't have that before.
Yeah.
I was obsessed over something different.
So right now, Manny's in football.
He's a junior. And he's already getting recruited.
Okay.
So I'm not dealing with that stress of, can I get him to that level? He's already there.
Yeah.
So it takes the pressure off me, and I can think creatively. And I have not been thinking creatively for a decade. I've just been kind of just going.
You had kids, so I mean.
Right, and then on top of that, right, she's older, so. Now I come in here and I'm like, what could I do better, versus coming in and saying, man, I got to fix this. And then I go home and I forget about it because I'm obsessed over a different goal. That's why I said, I know what it's like. If I add something new, it's going to pull me away. So I have to protect my own mind and my own curiosity to be like, is that important? There's things I want to do too, but it's a sacrifice. And then
what do you need to do right now?
What do you need to do right now, and what's going to serve the whole team? And right now I think it's jiu-jitsu, getting that back in here. So I'm sacrificing my own time. Like I said, I work with my instructor privately. I pay him, for his time, and we train. And we have people coming in here. Cody and a couple guys from Mount Olive, the wrestlers, college wrestlers, they're coming in here training with us. So we have a good group of guys in here, and we're getting inquiries all the time. So, which on top of the new,
it's a business moving.
It's starting. I can feel like I see it now. For a while, I didn't see it. I don't know what was going on. I think I was just my focus wasn't. We were doing a good job. That's not the issue. When I step on the mat, I'm giving my best. We're just in a different place, and that's okay.
I mean, that's what I feel right now. Just trying to get hybrid direction needs to go in, taken away from, again, like you said, competing, doing all the things I really want to do, but also at the same time trying to figure out what I can balance and what I can do as my own training. Also trying to get other people in training aspect as well. So I think it's just hard to kind of find that middle ground right now. I think just talking to obviously you and individuals like you, just being able to figure out, okay, what's the best approach to get to where I want to be right now? For me, that is business at this very moment, other than going to compete, do all these competitions. I think, like I said, the amateur fight stuff, I just put on the back end just because that's not something that's going to immediately push me to where I need to be as of right now. So completely understand that from a training perspective, but from a you perspective, what's the next thing that you're looking to do in terms of the business?
Man, where we are right now was we wanted to just really upgrade our facility,
okay,
and create a culture. So, and that was going to start off with painting the walls, getting things color coded, things that I've been wanting to do for a long time, but it costs money, and that's what people don't understand. And I was never interested, and I never kind of came across the whole I'm just going to get this big loan, and that never happened for me. So I had to go slow. This is my 19th year. So if somebody's like, "Oh, I want to do what you do," sometimes I'm like, "Okay,
19 years.
Do you want to sit in the same spot for 10 years?" Because sometimes that's what's going to happen.
Yeah,
it's not going to be like this big honeymoon. It can be very exciting, but I think the past 2 years are the year before last,
yeah,
we started in the lobby. We had Lou was up in here helping us. Well, really, he led the way with the painting because he could do that kind of stuff and getting things hung, stuff that I saw every day I walked in and it wasn't getting done. But stuff that costs money.
yeah.
Nothing's cheap. Paint's not cheap. When you add it all up, now, is it in the grand scheme of things, is it $1,000? No, but what I'm saying is it was just one more thing I was trying to do.
It's either time or money, regardless.
Yeah, exactly. And then the floors. So really, we're just trying to finish off the facility.
Okay.
I think that'll be done this year, really, the way I want it. And then from there, there'll be small things. And, the main thing will always be the main thing. Just teach good classes. But I feel like I want something that matches me.
Yeah.
That when I come in, I
feel
feel
proud about it.
I feel proud of it. And it's not that I'm not proud of what I had, because then I'm going into this gratitude place where it's like, there's people who would die to have these four walls. So I'm not saying that. I also twist my mind all the time. Anytime I do something good, I'll twist it because it's so easy to get comfortable. Oh, I have a business.
You're telling me. You're telling me.
Oh, I have this. Oh, I have that. And then all of a sudden, you become complacent.
Nothing happened in the past 5-10 years.
And it's not about what I used to do. And I tell that to everyone. It's because, I have to keep creating value all the time for people, and including myself, to keep me going. I've been punching and kicking and doing the same cut I'm 42. 38 years I've been doing that stuff. What is that? 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. Yeah. I've been doing this for a long time. So how do I stay excited? Yeah. I don't know. Let's put some new paint on the walls. Let's change the color match. Let's put some TVs up.
Add jiu-jitsu.
Let's add something that I've been doing. I just haven't been doing in here with the structure. We were doing a lot with our fighters.
Yeah.
All those guys that came in, all those wrestlers that came in, all those fighters that were doing UFC, I was learning and training with them. But I didn't want to do it. And I was going through a decade's worth of injuries, one after another. That's the other part of that lifestyle you live. Not that I'm feeling great, but
I feel better.
I'm smart now and I can maintain. I'm smart enough to say, I can't do that today. Right. I had to have that before. Before, I was just going to roll. I was just going to, whatever, I'm going to go. Now I'm just I'm smarter. So I'm like, I can keep this going. I just have to, I can't be in here trying to compete all the time. And, I can go with the younger guy one day for one round, but sometimes I can't do it the next day. I have that bad, I have surgeries on this knee. I've had surgery on my thumb. I'm dealing with an SI joint injury. I can go on and on. So I'm just gotten smarter. And I think that right now we're just in a good place with training, fitness. And the bottom line always comes down to, whenever you're getting confused, just talk to yourself and say, what do you want?
Yeah.
Because when you start to say that, things start to go out the window. So why am I fighting? Why am I running? Why am I doing all this? It has nothing to do with what you said you wanted. What do
I actually
want? Be clear. We don't want to do that. We were going with what was in our mind that night when we were excited.
Yeah.
You don't want that.
That's a red dress. You're looking at it a little too long. Mm-hmm. And that's what was me. 2024 was that eye-opening year for me because I came back from Miami and I was like, damn, shit hit the fan, bro. Yeah. So I'm looking back at it. It's like, okay, what do you actually want right now? And I was like, okay, training, martial arts, fitness. Run with that. And yes, it may take a year. It may take 2 years. It may take 5. But at some point in time, you're going to get to where you actually want to be, which is training people, having a gym, having an app that people can actually train on universally, things that actually makes me happy as Kason. And so for right now, I feel like I'm actually moving that direction. Things are slow as can be, but I can see little progressions with my work along the way, especially these past 3 months of actually, getting clientele, getting people to trust me with their training, getting people to actually come to my pages and get to school and actually use that as a training platform. I feel like that's been the biggest, since starting all this, been the biggest leap forward for me, just an acknowledgement of you're going in the right direction. And so, God, the feeling is crazy. I know it's going to take a little time, a year, 2 years, whatever it may be. But again, reaching out to people, networking has been my biggest weakness. So I'm starting to push on that right now, just harp on it, really connect with people, shaking hands, getting to know different individuals, whether it be triathlons, running, and definitely hanging with, I say older people, but you guys are really old. You're just older than me.
Experienced.
And I think that prevents me from getting injured, because there's other injuries I hear about you guys, like, oh, my knee is messed up, or my back is messed up. I'm like, okay, maybe not today. Right. Maybe I'll train next week and take a rest off from this running period, and just keep everything safe for as long as I can so I can continue doing the things that I want to do. But I know for you right now, you got kids, you got family. What does that look like with training them? I know coming up was a little different for the process.
I started my sons early. It was a no-brainer for me. I think you have to have a heart for that. It's not for everyone. You know,
training your kids?
Yeah, training your kids and, you know, training people. It's not, you know, I had a heart for that because really to me, training is sharing, you know, and I love to share. And I like seeing people do good. It makes me feel good. It pumps me up. I really like seeing people who feel they can't, and then I make them think they can. That's probably my favorite thing.
Okay,
so,
Superman.
Say what?
Okay, Superman.
Yeah, I mean, because I think we can talk ourselves into things. We can also talk ourselves out of things.
Yeah.
And I think average people, the average person in the sense of like, meaning like they don't come from a sports background or they've never been taught anything. When they start trying to do it in their head, it doesn't add up.
It doesn't pay off.
And it comes off as I can't. So that's just something I'm into. But I always go back to this, like, you know, I train so many people and I can say I come across so many like tough guys, tough girls. I consider them dogs. You know, like I've been a part of some good athletes, but my favorite dogs are at home.
Yeah.
Always have been from day one. And my mind I think it's not held me back, but I don't get to come in here and just think of this place. I'm usually obsessing over the next step with my kids because I enjoy seeing them succeed. I believe in them. I also believe in myself. It starts with me. I know I can, you know, get them to a better place and improve. And that's what we've done. And it started with my oldest. He became one of the top runners in the country, sprinters. Had a string of injuries, you know, of just being
You did.
CJ.
Oh, yeah.
Of being
Shoulder
an athlete. He had dislocated shoulders junior year with football, then hit hamstring. But he's been playing sports his whole life, and he's also a martial artist, you know.
So what does it look like, the difference between training, obviously, your kids, but also training students, training fighters? What's the difference between that mindset approach of, okay, how do I train this person or how do I train this person? Is it all the same, or is it different just because there are different individuals to you?
So in the beginning, when it comes to training people, yeah, I assess them. Yes, I look at strengths and weaknesses, all those kind of things, right? But you have to have a foundation. So if you don't have a foundation, you're going to be doing fundamental things. That's always important. If you've never lifted before, why am I giving you sport-specific movements? I'm not jumping into this. If you're a fighter, I'm not jumping into this move that looks like a fighter would do. If you can't push, pull, and you can't hinge, and you can't rotate,
there's no point in doing that.
To me, it's not.
Okay.
I don't think that, I always made sure my sons did the basics. They ran hill sprints. They did pull-ups. They did single leg movements. And they were jumping. Of course, push-ups and sit-ups. And they were jumping.
Is that towards their specific sport or just general fitness?
Period. And that's how I train a lot of youth athletes. And then as they started going through puberty and things like that, we started, and getting older and more mature, they started being introduced to weights. But in the beginning, it was like, move your body and move it well and move it quickly. Plus, they played sports all year long. So they didn't do one sport all year as kids. They kept doing different sports. So they were rotating, they were sprinting, they were throwing balls, catch. They did all. They were in the martial arts. They did tumbling. So there's a lot of things that they did. But I think that I always kept it simple, and I still do that. I don't like that confusing stuff.
The basics.
Don't give me all that fancy terminology. But hey, I'm just not into it, And I want to keep things super simple: rice and beans with some steak.
With some steak.
Like keep it very, very, very simple, and then you'll see who needs more from you. But in the beginning, it's the consistency that from Division I track athletes. I've trained Division I basketball players, all the way to the UFC, Olympic alternates for boxing, up and coming professional boxers. I've seen these different kind of athletes.
But the approach is still the same.
The approach is still the same. And more importantly, the reason why I think I have a lot of success with my kids is because I know what they're doing when they go home.
Yeah.
I'm making sure they're sleeping. I'm making sure they're eating. That is a big difference. Those are the basics that are being missed.
Yeah.
So I can monitor that. So that's the main difference. But as far as like what I think you should do, also my hands came off of my kids as they got older. Fortunately, we had a tremendous track coach, Keswick Frazier. Coach Walker was their weightlifting coach for the football team. And I had relationships with all these guys, and I believe in what they were doing. So also just keeping them around the right people is how we got results. But I always kept my eyes on it all the time. But at some point, I couldn't do it all, nor was I supposed to.
Well, I know I've been around you for a while, but I obviously didn't get to ask these questions just because my mind obviously was somewhere else. But obviously later on down the line, I want to be able to train with my kids, but not, be manager dad, let them grow, let them develop on their own, but also be able to kind of guide them in the right direction. And so I'm trying to figure out what that kind of looks like, or the process looks like in terms of, what that conversation is. If it's a hard conversation you have with the kids, if it's something that they should do, but they're not doing, what does that even look like as a parent just being with a young one? Because obviously I've been my siblings help, I won't even say raise them, just produce them to better individuals, but they obviously aren't my kids. But as soon I do want to be in that position to help coach them in the right direction.
I think when it comes to training your kids, it gets a little hard because sometimes kids don't want to listen to their parents.
Yeah.
They may not think their parents know a lot, or they do know their parents know a lot, but that's still mom and dad. They're comfortable, so they'll act up. I don't think people understand that before you can be influential to your child with sports and all these things, it doesn't matter how great you used to be, you have to have a relationship. And I believe the success I've had with my kids is because I had a relationship. And I started, once again, spending time with them, quality time with them at a young age. It wasn't always football and baseball and martial. It wasn't always that. It was Ninja Turtles. It was pizza on Fridays. It was the fun. It was the stuff that they wanted to do. So there was common ground.
Yeah.
It's more. I think sometimes people are like, "Oh, Johnny's in the 8th grade. Time to get serious. Now you want to be a voice, but you haven't been putting the time in, or you haven't been doing anything, and all of a sudden you see your kid. You see a spark, and now you're excited. Well, my eyes, you should be excited a long time ago. Why are you? Yes. Why are you waiting to see something? Is that faith? Is faith seeing or is faith believing? Which one is it? So for me, I never was waiting for anything. If anything, my sons were the smallest kids on the team.
Height-wise or?
Height-wise, weight-wise, they were tiny. It didn't stop me. I knew. I didn't know how tall CJ was going to be. He ended up being taller than me. But I thought he was going to be 5'4".
So put the time in, though.
We trained, though. We still trained and we prepared for every season. We were in the batting cages. We were running routes. We were catching balls. And then the same thing with Manny. And then my younger son, he took a different approach, but with the way his sports were. But now he's running. So I'm not waiting for him to show me that he's running fast. You got to go work on it. So my point is, it's all about spending time. To be influential, it takes time.
Now, that come from time with your dad? Because I know your dad's doing, again, all these athletic events, but also training martial arts. Was he the same with you as you are with your kids right now?
No, he was not. I do believe it's a mixture. The relationships it was a different time.
Yeah.
It was very, very different. I think it's very different, especially now. My dad wasn't he was going to show you, but he wasn't going to beg you. He wasn't going to try to make you. He was, he was really into the martial arts. So we did the martial arts. But outside of that, no, he did not. I don't think he did not have a vision for us to be like a college. Like that wasn't his thing.
Yeah.
But his thing was the basics. It was get up on time, Why you got dirt underneath your fingernails? Yes, sir. No, sir. Not talking back. Punctuality.
Being a good human being.
Yes, the basics. He was really funny about the basics. My mother spent a lot of quality time with us. She did a lot with us. And so I kind of took both of them.
Yeah.
And she was very talkative with us and, asked us how we feel. And it was also very hard on us too, like very, very hard on us. So I believe I have the best of both worlds with my parents. I offer a lot of discipline, but I love spending time with my kids. And I think as we get older, I was very influential to them. Even when I wasn't trying to be. I didn't want to be your coach, but I noticed my voice started being the sounding board a lot. And I don't take advantage of that. I really appreciate that. But I also earned that. You have
put in the work for it.
I put the work in. If you want to be that to your child, put the time in. Put the time in. If it's not you, hopefully you put your kid around. It doesn't have to be you. Put them around the right people. And so you have to still make an investment, whether it's like a martial arts instructor, a track coach. It doesn't matter who it is, but there's time and investment all over again. But if you're not thinking about them and you have no vision for them, then guess where? They're just going to go wherever they land. And then you're going to say, hey, Johnny figured it out. He's all right. Well, fine. I'm not willing to let anyone figure
Society
anything out.
raise your kid.
I'm not doing that. Everyone, and I'm not saying my way is the right way. I just
see the fruits of your labor right now.
Yeah, I have an idea of what I want for them, and I know things that will give them success, which is a good education, skill sets, good manners, things like that. And we kind of use sports and martial arts and all those things to kind of teach that.
Well, I know one of the biggest things that I took away from you with teaching right now is that even as they grow up, to be a parent, but I'm taking this in teaching as well, is that I would say they need to be taught or reminded more than they need to be taught, but also when they get older, they still need to be taught and you still need to be a parent. Whether they're 5, 10, or even 20, you're still a parent and you're still guiding them regardless of how old they seem or however old they think they are. You still have to be that voice or that sense of reason and kind of point them in the right direction, even if they don't think you're, if your dad or if your brother, if your sister, if your teacher, you got to be able to help them on whatever age they are, whatever path they are. I think it's one of the biggest things I took away from you. Just, again, being an instructor, being a brother, helping out with my family and doing things like that. I definitely appreciated one of those moments of learning that.
Parenting and teaching can be very similar. Telling is not teaching. I told you not to go there. Well, you told him, and then you know that he was going to go there. You told him not to go there. He still goes there. So you said it. You didn't stop them. You just said it.
Yeah.
It's like insurance. Just so later I can say, I told you. I told you. And then you feel good about yourself for a second because you told them.
Yeah.
No, we're not going there. Instead, we're going here. But I wanted to go here because I was trying to get to this place. I can get you to that place, but you need to go this way. And this is how you're going to do it. And parents don't think sometimes they have that kind of power. So why? Why don't you feel like you have that kind of power? They're lacking confidence. Why are you lacking confidence?
You didn't
put the time in, and you did not work. And as they get older, the further away they get from you, the less you feel you can stand up and show confidence. Hey, son, you're making a bad mistake. That's not the right move. You should be over here. At least take a strong stance. No, I cannot make a 21-year-old do that. But what I am doing is he's not going to forget the confidence in my voice.
Yeah.
And I'm creating a conscience. And I do believe my parents gave me a good conscience just because there was some consistency with that. So even when I don't do right, I know I'm not. And I think that's a big part of it, right? So I know better, and that's what this is about. But
so how does that transfer over into, obviously, parenting is like teaching, but in terms of teaching students? Obviously, in their head, they have their own parents, their own life, their other stuff like that. But we still got to train them. We still got to make them do the things that they need to do. We know they need to do, but in their head, they may not know why it's important or anything like that.
So when you become a student, martial arts gives you a good system. I was also in the Marines. Marines have been around for forever, right? So 200 plus years. And there's a system that has made them successful. So when I got to boot camp, it's not about why are we doing this. I don't need to know the why.
It's worked.
It's worked. There's a reason why they're yelling. There's a reason why they're making you grab your pack and take your rifle off the rack and unlock it and then tell you get on the line in 5 seconds. There's a reason. There's something they're trying to teach you. Martial arts is a system. and you trace it back, there's a reason why. These people were trying to improve their lives, but this was also military tactics. There's all kind of things where martial arts have come in, especially my roots, which was a karate style.
Yeah.
So when you step onto the floor, you have to have enough confidence to say, you just do what I need you to do, what I'm telling you to do, because you can't be good at anything if you're not willing to listen. You can't have all the answers.
Gotta be a student first.
I don't care how many TikTok videos you're watching, or YouTube videos you're watching on the martial arts and on all the variations of kicks that you can do.
Yeah.
Cool, you have a few tricks. You want to be a martial artist? Put your time in. Learn a system. There's a lot of people who don't have a system. Even on a professional level, they jump coach to coach to coach. In a lot of sports, you're not learning a system. You're not learning a style. A style gives you rules and it gives you regulations.
Foundation.
This person's feet are wide. This person's feet are closed. Fine, that might be step one. But the person with the closed feet, there's a step 2 and 3 that can make that work. And the people whose feet are wide, there's step 2 and 3 that can make that work.
Yeah.
You're looking at all step ones and which one doesn't make sense to you. Well, that's where you went wrong. You didn't put the time in.
Is that what you told me about the Muay Thai when I was telling you about I want to learn Muay Thai to really understand it? You're like, why? You have this background, use it, make it work, figure it out.
Well, in that moment, yeah, I think what I was trying to get from you, because I've studied things that way. I don't think that was wrong, but I already knew where you were. You're intrigued, and so I was just challenging you. Yeah, you should do it. I did the same thing. I went karate and I was boxing amateurs. So what I was trying to tell you is, show me something here first. You have all these tools. I know all of your tools, and I'm not seeing you execute them enough. And then we want to jump to the next thing. Why? So that, as your instructor, that's what I was saying. Let's not learn more moves. Make this work versus the next shiny thing. Water this grass. Trust me, it's going to grow. And, you kept doing it and you started to build. Now you can add some stuff to your bag. Now, it's not wrong to do it. I'm just saying that's what I was doing with you.
At the time.
What
I did appreciate is the cut kick or the sliding cut kick. I started using that heavily. Just a lot. Just being able to manage distance, keep them away from me when I need to, except getting away from your front foot. Still manageable. Still work in progress, but still just being able to keep them at a distance if I need to, and if I need to come in, fake the kick, go in for the strikes, and then step out if I need to again. It made my sparring a lot easier and a lot more just controlled, and just definitely makes me want. That's what sparked the interest of the amateur fighting. It's just being able to put the piece together, that click moment of, shit, Carlos is right. Can I use this front leg? Okay, can I use that front leg to throw punches now? Can I get in a closing distance? Can I get back out without getting harmed on the way in? Different things like that started to make sense after I started, okay, let's work on the foundation. Let's work on the basics before I do anything else. And I think that's the cake for me, and one of the things I wanted to bring back again.
I started learning that kick. My dad, when he was taking us to tournaments and competing, which he put a lot of time into that. In those earlier years, is when I saw that kick. So I've been doing it since I was 9 years old. That's why I've been doing something for so long that no matter where I went, I had tools that I believed in. So I can teach and I can push people with a lot of fire, passion, and confidence because I've been doing this for a while. I see it. It's like a system. It's not for everyone. Some people are like, man, it doesn't seem to, maybe that's not for them. Fine. But for you, that's why I said, you should be doing certain things and you're not doing them. Someone could say, that's wrong. He doesn't have to do that. Well, if I'm coaching him, I'm looking for, this is my thought process. I have a system. I'm not pulling all these different moves out. A, B, and C is what I need to see you do, the way I'm going to develop you. Show me these fundamental movements. Show me this footwork pattern. Show me this jab and this front leg. And then we can build off of something. So, and I did that for you because you had the tools. If you didn't have the tools, then I would have been working, I would still worked on your fundamentals, but I would kind of put you in a different place. So, but that's where we were, so that's why I was pushing that.
So for people like me who are already training, who go to the gym, and just general knowledge of skill, how would you train that individual? Would you push them just on the martial arts side? Would you push them on the weight side? Because obviously I'm big into training cross-functionally, and obviously hybrid is the name of the game. So how would you train an individual like that if they come to you like, hey, I want to get better at striking, or I want to get better at weightlifting? Obviously those two different directions, but how would you approach someone in my position who already know the general foundations, but still want to get better at fighting or they want to get better at the gym, would you do one thing specifically and ignore the rest, or would you kind of mix a little bit of both?
No, I don't think, because we're talking about someone who's just seems like they're trying to improve their life. So, and that's how I view this whole entire thing now. People who are walking through the door are coming for a reason. They're trying to improve something. That's it. That's it. You know, getting a black eye is not, you don't have time to go to work with a black eye.
Fair.
Am I improving your life? We're not talking about professional athletes. We're talking about people who are just training. They're trying to get better. So yeah, you can do both. It's going to come down to this. My challenge is not going to be like, fine, this fighter is, he's coming, he kickboxes twice a week, right? 3 times a week. He strength trains twice a week, and he runs twice a week.
Okay.
It's fun. That's plenty. Someone's like, well, how's he going to get the reward, or how does he see the results? Hey, he's going to have to stick with it.
It's going to be a while.
Yeah, it's going to be a while. It's just consistency. I don't care what your program is. I don't care. It's consistency. You're going to stick with it? That's the question.
Okay.
That's, to me, what I'm pushing. That's why I just like, great, that's great. What about this exercise? Great.
Love it.
Love it.
Are you continuing to do it over time?
Show me something, stick with it. It's like a business idea. We come up with these ideas. We come up with these, boom, dopamine hit. Boom, oh, it feels so good. And then that's what it does.
Then it's gone.
It's gone. So if someone called me the other day, hey, I'm on medication, I'm 54 years old. You know, do you think I should? I said, what you need to do is get moving. Yes, we can help you. I said, but you got to show up.
You got to do something first.
Yes, and I kept it at that. Well, you think this would be better if I start? I said, you need to come here first, meet me, let's shake hands, let's get on our feet on the floor, and let's start to move. Then we can talk about the next conversation. I need a foundation. We got to build a fundamental relationship. I don't know what I can do for you. I don't. But if you come here, you're consistent. Yes. Push-ups and sit-ups and pull-ups can go far. There's people all over YouTube. Go Google pull-ups. Back this big. Go look push-ups, chest this big. I mean, there's a lot of ways to do it. That's why it's hard for me to, if you're not going to stick with it, I can't entertain, it's hard to entertain that. I would only just say, look, let's just do something, keep it simple and not make it
first.
Yeah, don't get fancy. Simplicity is always going to win. So as far as how you do that, it's up to you.
Fair. So last thing, because obviously you got a busy day ahead of you. For someone, like you just said, just trying to improve their life, someone who's probably maybe on the wrong path, they're just trying to get in the right direction, what is one thing you would tell them that you feel like they would need to hear or want to hear in terms of pushing forward, getting the results they want to get, whether it be fitness and life in general, something that you took from your past and now improved in nowadays? What would be like a last thought you would leave them before stepping off?
It's never too late to make a change. And today is the youngest you will ever be. You do not get that back. You also should not live in the past, a cemetery of bad thoughts and regrets. Because what does that do? If you're driving down the road and you're looking through the rearview mirror every day, you can't go straight. And if you are, you're going really slow. You need to look straight through. There's a reason why that glass is a lot bigger than those little small glasses. And that's how you got to look. It's the frames that you're looking through every single day that matter. If you're looking through with negativity and that's what you put on, then that's what you're going to get. If you put on your positive glasses and the frames are nothing but positivity, that's what you're going to get. So it doesn't matter if it's fitness, relationships. If you start depositing pennies, nickels, dollars, you're going to have something. And you can apply that to anything. Because I'm always going to go back to the consistency thing. 5 years happens like this.
I'm learning.
Yeah.
I'm learning quickly.
And then 10. I've been doing this for a long time. Business has gone, it's been like this. I've gotten the what's it called? The better share out of it. Fortunately, I'm still here. But I can't say it's always been exciting.
Yeah.
But I can imagine if 10 years ago, I was going through some challenges that I gave up. Well, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't come in and say, man, this place looks way different. It looks like you've been working. Well, sometimes you just have to have a complete paradigm shift. Like just change your whole entire thought process and stick with it. So my whole thing is at the end of the day, the past is the past. Move forward. And to not get confused, talk to yourself. What do I want? Because true confidence is saying doing what you say you're going to do. Not whether you won the fight or lost a fight or good month in business, bad month in business, that you can do everything wrong and still win. And that's okay.
Yeah.
But to do things wrong and to do like a bunch of things wrong and win, that's foggy.
False hope.
It can mess you up. So you can't make it off of those transactions. It's a very transactional way to thinking of, and what I mean by that is just like, I won. That means it's good. That means it's good. It means it's good. No, what makes it good? Well, what makes it good is that I won that day, or we had a good month. Yeah, but all your systems and processes were off. Were terrible. Right? It should be more about what went into it, the transformation.
Yeah.
That's why you should not be transactional, you should be transformational. And focus on that. Because then you're going to get your hit. And then when you get your hit, you can be consistency and it'll stick around longer. So first step is the most important step. Keep going. Don't give up. Keep it really simple. Don't make this thing confusing.
Fair. Thank you, Carlos.
No problem.
We'll end it there. Appreciate you. And that's cut. So if you enjoyed the interview with Carlos, like the video, but also subscribe to the channel so you can be the first one notified when I post a new video like this. But other than that, please go check out this video with me and him. We were sparring, just hitting the mitts, having fun, and again, stepping into his world of striking. So other than that, guys, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.